very good evening. You're watching the Super Saturday debate with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now, Delhi's Lieutenant Governor VK Saxena has approved the Enforcement Directorate's request to prosecute Delhi's former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the excise policy case. The Enforcement Directorate alleges that Kejriwal conspired with the South Group to receive substantial kickbacks and misused funds for Aam Aadmi Party's Goa campaign. On its part, AAP, including Delhi Chief Minister Atishi, have claimed that there was no such sanction, accusing the ED of callousness in investigating the case. A case in which several senior leaders from the party were jailed, including Kejriwal and his former deputy Manish Sisodia. But it should be noted that the sanction now comes after the trial court has taken cognizance of the ED charge sheet. But according to legal experts, it will not change Kejriwal's bail status and cannot lead to his arrest. The protection granted shall continue. Simply put, this also gives Kejriwal the option to challenge the post facto sanction which was granted after the trial court already took cognizance of the charge sheet by ED. Nonetheless, the question remains, should Arvind Kejriwal be prosecuted at all? The Aam Aadmi Party is bound to use the development to make the point that the BJP is rattled and is once again misusing agencies to arm twist its opponents. But for the BJP, this is proof they would want to flaunt to show that Aam Aadmi Party is soaked in corruption right up to the top. So with Kejriwal now set to be prosecuted, will Liquorgate hurt Aam Aadmi Party's electoral performance in the upcoming polls? That's a question we'll be debating tonight on the Saturday debate.
एक बात तो स्पष्ट है कि शराब घोटाले में अरविंद केजरीवाल ने दलाली और कमीशन खाई है और वो शराब घोटाले के मुख्य अभियुक्त हैं, किंग पिन है और पूरी दिल्ली को लूटने का काम उन्होंने शराब घोटाले के माध्यम से किया है।
बहुत अच्छा है। ये अभी तो मुख्यमंत्री पद से हटाए गए हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा, मगर इनको परमानेंट कितनी बड़ी सजा मिलनी चाहिए या बरी होने चाहिए, ये तो केस चलेगा तभी पता चलेगा। सो केस चलना ही चाहिए।
अगर दिल्ली के एलजी वीके सक्सेना जी ने किसी प्रकार का कोई मंजूरी का पत्र दिया है तो मैं कह रहा हूं उसको दिखाइए, सार्वजनिक कीजिए।
All right, on that note, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Mr. R. Rajagopalan, who is a senior journalist, Ms. Onika Malhotra, who is a spokesperson for the Congress Party, and Mr. Akash Deep Muni, who is a political analyst, backs the Aam Aadmi Party. Many thanks to you, Onika, and the gentlemen for joining in. Akash Deep, if I could begin with you, for the Aam Aadmi Party that arrived on the promise, the basic solid promise of, being corruption-free, and for somebody like Arvind Kejriwal, who tom-tommed himself as a very clean politician, is it befitting for the Aam Aadmi Party to run away from prosecution? Or, the big question everybody is asking, are they even rattled by the nod that has come in from the LG?
Akanksha, thank you for having me on your show. Akanksha, on this particular case, what were Bharatiya Janata Party's ED was doing since last 2 years when the prosecution approval has come now? What were they doing? They have filed charge sheets. The case has gone to the honorable courts. And interestingly, Arvind Kejriwal has not only got bail from a trial court, but also from the honorable Supreme Court. And when the Supreme Court has questioned the way this investigation has happened, the Supreme Court even questioned CBI and ED, whom they said that the CBI and ED are still seems to be a hand in glove with the government. And when the Supreme Court has clearly said that the CBI and ED has been only considering statements against the accused, that is Kejriwal. They are not considering statements for the accused, that is Kejriwal. This shows that how BJP's wing, that is ED and CBI, has again come into notion. Now BJP's CBI is giving up, asking for approval, and BJP's governor is giving for approval. So this is all but political. This is not nowhere related
All
to
right. But
excise case.
Akashdeep, I'm sure you'll also agree that those that the arrest, whether not just of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, but even that of Sanjay Singh, and of course even of Manish Sisodia, the observations that were made by the Supreme Court while granting the bail were with regards to the arrests that were made prior to the entire trial. And I do agree with the Supreme Court that such long incarcerations cannot happen without adequate evidence. But that doesn't mean that we overlook the charge sheet which is there by the Enforcement Directorate. And that's why I'd like to quickly bring in Mr. Rajgopalan, who continues to stay with us. Mr. Rajgopalan, going by all those charges mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate, does it not call for prosecution? And how do you, in fact, look at that accusation coming in that whenever any opposition ruled state is poll bound, a central agency is unleashed at them?
Akansha, Delhi election is looming large. Mid of February, we will have a polls. Build up to that. Definitely, Enforcement Directorate's case has been pending before the LG. And law should take its own course. It has got South Indian connections because BRS leader Kavita was arrested. Not only that, YSR Congress leader who was in YSR party, later he joined TDP, Mr. Srinivas Reddy, he is also in the connection. Therefore, all the Nayars and Aroras have been let out. But still, it's a major case. It's a major setback politically. I would like to say you all dealt with the legal points. Of course, Supreme Court has given him a protection, and that is why he has been forced to resign. Otherwise, he was not resigning. During 24 election also, Lok Sabha Speaker's election, he was roaming around and saying he had gone to Calcutta, he has gone to Bombay, everywhere. But what happened? Nothing. My understanding is totally it's a political thing. BJP will make it as a flaunt, as you in your editorial said. Aadmi party politically is in a great peril, and it is difficult to come out of it because it will be added. Liquor gate plus, it's not liquor gate, is going to end now.
All right, I can see the national spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Charu Pragya, is also with us. Charu, the discussion that's happening and the allegation coming in from the opposition is that whether it is states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, and now even Delhi, whenever there is a poll in these opposition ruled states, the central agencies are unleashed at them.
Akansha, a very good evening to you. Let's remind everyone that Arvind Kejriwal was out on provisional bail, and bail is not an acquittal. Unfortunately, every single Aam Aadmi Party Karyakarta seems to forget this very basic fact. The second thing I want to remind everyone of is that he is no longer the Chief Minister of Delhi. And he's not the Chief Minister of Delhi because of the allegations on his head in the Delhi liquor scam. His involvement in the scam is the reason why he couldn't go to his office. He can't sign any files. He is no longer the CM of this city. Now, the last thing I want to say here is that the hue and cry Aam Aadmi Party makes about every single thing is just adding on to the drama they have become infamous for. The fact of the matter is that Delhi liquor scam is a very, very serious scam because of not just the amount of money that has been siphoned off, because of the time at which this money was siphoned off, the time when Delhi was dying with lack of oxygen during the second deadly wave of COVID. That makes their sin that much more greater. Otherwise, how is it possible? Tell me. The number of liquor shops have gone up. The commission on alcohol has gone up. The sale of alcohol has gone up. And there is a loss to the exchequer. And the fact of the matter is that karma is going to catch up with people who are playing with not just the lives of Delhiites, but who are filling their own pockets.
But
Supreme Court has made a valid observation, tracing the amount close to 300 crore to the coffers of Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, I remember one time the Supreme Court actually said make the entire party a party to this case. Entire Aam Aadmi party should be made a party because everybody seems to be involved, including the present Chief Minister Atishi.
All
Her
right.
name was taken by Arvind Kejriwal.
All right, I actually have a question to counter, but before I do that, Charu, I'd also like to hear from Akashdeep, who I think wants to make a point. But Akashdeep, before you make that point, I really want to take you through some major charges over here, which have been shared by the Enforcement Directorate, that Kejriwal was directly involved in framing the now withdrawn liquor policy was made in such a manner that it enabled the taking of bribes. We have traced the proceeds of crime and taken statements of many persons involved in the Goa election campaign. The ED's counsel has said in this exchange for kickbacks that the South Group got control of the liquor businesses in Delhi. Vijay Nair, Erupts' former communication head, acted as the middleman between South Group and the Aam Aadmi Party. Proceeds of crime is not only 100 crore rupees of bribe received, but also the profits made by the bribe payers amounting to 600 crore rupees. I have the charge sheet over here with me. I want to ask you, are these not charges serious enough for the prosecution to take place? I know you will question the timing of the prosecution. You are rightly entitled to do so. But I'd like to ask you about these charges.
Akanksha, regarding these charges, the Honorable Supreme Court said that when the charges will be put in the trial court, these charges won't stand even 2 minutes. And I'm quoting Honorable Supreme Court there. So, these very charges. And they said to the Enforcement Directorate. So, interestingly, till date, while 2 years have gone on, why the ED has not put this into the trial court? Why the trial has not started yet? Why they are filing charge sheet after charge sheet, supplementary charge sheet, 5 supplementary charge sheets.
All right, let me quickly take that response. Let me take that response from Charu. Charu, I think what's also giving the Aam Aadmi Party ammunition to attack the BJP right now is also what the Supreme Court had to say while granting bail to Sanjay Singh. They said that no money has been recovered. There is no trace. In fact, the statements made by approver Dinesh Arora are 9 exculpatory statements, which in fact raise doubt. So, and the fact that they also, the Supreme Court also observed that a speedy trial was not given to even a Manish Sisodia. These observations have today given more ammunition to the Aam Aadmi Party for calling this a poorly botched investigation.
But Akansha, it is these very courts who have chosen not to give bail to these leaders, whether Manish Sisodia or Arvind Kejriwal up till now. So please remember, the onus lied with the courts and they chose to not give bail. The second thing I want to remind everyone of is that currently nobody is going to stack money in piles in their cupboards or under their bed. This money was used as kickback. It was spent on booking private flights and funding the Goa election, whatnot. There were clear trails that led to Aam Aadmi Party leaders. Another thing here that Akashdeep Muni also seems to forget is that this is India. Tell me, which case gets wrapped up in 10 months or a year? Do you remember the time when there were accusations on Modi ji and how long that case went on for? In fact, every single case takes a certain amount of time. Until we don't have judicial reforms in a very major way, this is the way it's going to progress. So please, let's not do any whataboutery here. The very same court which has chosen not to give bail also gave bail on very strict conditions later. Provisionally, that too. They said this man cannot act as chief minister. He had to change the chief minister. Why would any of that have been done if Arvind Kejriwal was scot-free and clean? The court would have said, okay, go back and resume your duties. They did not say that.
Anika Malhotra, thank you for so patiently awaiting your turn. I'll come to you, Akashdeep, but let me quickly go across to Anika. Anika, everybody is asking, we've seen how the Haryana harvest was in fact impacted because you chose not to do an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, and that also managed to split votes for you all. This time around, you have gone separate ways again. And is this a closely contemplated strategy which perhaps many political pundits would have questioned, but are you now thanking your stars given that the corruption charges Arvind Kejriwal and the party is mired in?
Yeah, both ways. You're absolutely right, Akanksha. But coming to the topic of today's, I feel law should take its own course, and the courts are competent enough to give justice whichever way. If the person is done something wrong, bound to get punished. But as far as Aam Aadmi is concerned, Akanksha ji, you reap what you sow. So if they have, sown in corruption and false promises, they are going to reap the same. Remember the campaign against Sheila ji? Sheila ji chore hai and all that. So this is not the way a political party should have come forward. You should prove your worth. You just can't say things for saying it. And hence they have lost their ground very badly in Delhi. Indeed, I must agree that they did take a major vote chunk of the Congress. And now you see the people want to come back to Congress because they've seen, you might give 101 braveries, but that doesn't really help Delhi to survive or move forward. Delhi has become stagnant since Kejriwal's taken over. They wanted MCD, they took over MCD also. But the progress has been zero. Look at the garbage. Look at the Yamuna. Look at you name it, and it is in a deteriorating state. So apart from these allegations of Liquorgate and Sheesh Mahal, the other promises also which he has not kept. So in totality, I think Mr. Kejriwal is somewhere, he's now cornered because of his false promises.
Monica Malhotra, I must say you're the first alliance partner who's now stepped out with the truth. And
no,
I
we
must give it to you. But
Akashdeep,
you heard what Monica is saying, and I can't help but laugh. It is the very downfall of Congress party which seems to have now been coming back to bite Aam Aadmi Party.
See, I am still wondering how many seats Congress is going to win. Are they winning double digits? If they're winning double digits, are they opening their account or not? I don't know. Last time they didn't. In the last 10 years, they didn't. So this time, nobody knows. They still don't have a permanent Congress president in Delhi. So,
what are you saying?
Anyway,
don't just say anything and everything. No, I need to rebut. If this is what you want to speak, I will not entertain this.
I'll give you time. Yes, Monica, please go ahead.
This is no waste, ma'am. Devendra Yadav is there, our president, and we were the first one to start a campaign.
Let me make a point,
we were the first one to say, don't get into wrong this thing. Ek bit seat nahi jeeti. 10 years down the line, sir. What was BJP? With 2 seats, then 4, and then now they're 240. So this is what happens. This is politics. There's nothing permanent here. Just because we've not one seat doesn't mean that we are not nowhere to be seen. We were the first one to hit this speech.
All right.
And we mean business.
Mr. Rajagopalan, let me come to you.
Go on and do
I think Delhi is becoming a leading example.
You can go ahead. Both the BJP and your analysts can go and he. This is what they do. This is what they're doing in parliament. Pushing others and, saying, oh, we got hurt. So this is a gimmicks people of Delhi have seen now, ma'am. Enough is enough. That's what they say. Go out in the street and listen to what they say. BJP has fooled them for 15 years. MCD, they could not do a single thing there. Aam Aadmi said, oh, give us BJP. Give us the MCD. And look what they've landed up. They've created a mess. Both BJP and Aam have created a mess of Delhi.
Okay. Charupragya?
Tell me one thing.
No. Let me hear from Charu. Let me hear from Charu, Akashdeep.
Giggling and laughing doesn't help only, na ma'am?
So it's great fun to watch both the alliance partners support each other in such a strong manner on national television.
But you did that with so many in Mumbai.
Onika, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
Please let me finish.
Yes,
but see, the fact of the matter is that this has been a case where the whistleblower initially was Congress. They went around taking claim for the fact that they were the ones who asked for this investigation to begin.
Why didn't you do it?
So, Onika, please don't interrupt me.
Onika,
Onika,
Charu.
Onika, please let her make a point. I'll give you time to come up with a rebuttal.
But it is not BJP which shook hands with them for their own gain. It is the Congress party. So it is the Congress which has to come under the magnifying glass today when we are questioning Aam Aadmi Party. You partnered up with them. We have always been questioning them. But Akansha, what I wanted to point out here is that it is not just the liquor scam which is getting investigated. Soon enough, there are going to be issues in the water scam. There's going to be issues in the way the Mohalla clinics have been handled, the cleaning of whether the air or the water in Delhi, all of that is going to pile up, and karma has caught up with Aam Aadmi Party. The kingpin is finally going to be prosecuted for his sins, and the people of Delhi definitely deserve better. Since you've come to power, you're either assaulting women or siphoning off money meant for the welfare of the people of Delhi and lying through your teeth, even though it is your own RTI reports which speak against you, and that is what we have a problem with.
Mr. Rajagopalan, I'd like to close in with your thoughts, and that's why I want to ask you the million-dollar question. Does Delhi's electorate even care about corruption charges? Because given that we've already seen the freebies and how they worked for the Aam Aadmi Party back in the year 2020, we've already seen free healthcare being promised to senior citizens. We've seen 2,100 rupees being promised to women of Delhi. Will freebies again surpass these corruption charges for the Aam Aadmi Party?
I don't think so. Akansha, put it in nutshell, Aam Aadmi Party is facing an existential crisis because after this...
Mr. Rajgopalan, I've always maintained that our country is suffering because we, the people, are also equally part of the corrupt lobby, because we, vote for corruption because we love free lunches.
That's right, that's right. But, in fact, I should say the political parties also hit only the middle class, not the upper caste or the lower caste. My understanding of politics, having covered parliament for 40 years, Aam Aadmi Party, sooner, it goes out of the political oblivion. Otherwise, it's going to be dangerous. He himself projected himself as an anarchist. He was against the corruption. Now what happened? Totally he has been sidelined. And even the India Alliance, the Congress spokesperson, madam, is very correct in saying that Aam Aadmi Party lost its ground. In fact, in nutshell, I should say, it's going to be a direct fight between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP. The Aam Aadmi Party is, slowly depleting because Arvind Kejriwal is not in control.
All right.
There are internal squabbles in
I'd like to give Akashdeep 30 seconds to conclude. Akashdeep.
No, Akanksha, if you are talking of corruption, today BJP should be ashamed of itself, because in Maharashtra they said that Ajit Pawar is corrupt, and today they have tied up with Ajit Pawar and today made him the deputy chief minister.
All
they
right.
should be ashamed of it.
All right,
That's what
Charu
they have
Pragya.
done.
Charu Pragya, let me
Today,
clear.
in Delhi, they are accusing Kejriwal.
All right,
of
I'm going to
corruption.
take that, but that should not stop. Do you agree that Aam Aadmi Party should be prosecuted and Kejriwal should be prosecuted? That is a separate matter. Okay, Charu Pragya.
So, see, the thing is, no, he says, she says is more important to Aam Aadmi Party. This debate is about discussing the Delhi liquor scam. This is about the oncoming situation that Delhi is going to be facing, with one chief minister who is going to be prosecuted, another chief minister who is going to be roped in, because the last time, Arvind, we can have a debate on Ajit Pawar and we can go through it, Akash, but you can't deflect questions like this. I want to say that it is Arvind Kejriwal who pulled in the name of Atishi. When he was last questioned, he clearly said that Nair used to communicate with Atishi.
All right.
So, there was one person who was not implicated, he pulled that one into.
I'm afraid I'm running short of time. I'll have to leave it at that. So, given that the Aam Aadmi Party has been accusing the ED of carrying out a callous investigation, I think it is all the more reason for them to allow this prosecution, doodh ka doodh aur pani ka pani. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching the Saturday debate. News and updates continue on the other side.